Hello, Internet Pike here. I've been playing Hearthstone for quite a while now, and it always is lots of fun creating crazy decks. Now, one of the cards that I've really always loved to bits is Mimiron. Lovely card, but I could never ever get it to work. I've played around with it for ages and it just doesn't work. But recently, I think I found a way. It's not perfect yet. It still has like an abysmal win rate, like below 50%. But when it works, it's spectacular. I don't know if this deck is already out there because, as you know, I try not to read or listen to other people's decks ideas. I mean, sometimes you run across something, but I haven't seen anything like this yet, so maybe this is a first, I don't know. But let me explain. No, rather I won't explain. I'll show it, and naturally it's gonna work now, right? So let's just start a game. So the problem was always, so in order to play Mimiron you needed to have 2 mechs, right? Now I've had it in my mech mage deck, but that basically never worked. As soon as I played it, the opponent basically threw everything he had at it in order to make sure that this thing never got created, Voltron. And I also always ran into problems because even if you play it,
shall bring victory.
You asked for it.
all of the mechs have to survive until your very next turn. If they don't, it just doesn't work. And yeah, that was like tedious. So I took it out of my mech mage deck again. I mean, sometimes if I play the 3-4 gorilla bot, like if you have a mech, choose a mech, and I get it, I usually take it because I think like, oh come on, maybe I can get it to work. Usually it just doesn't work. However, then one fine night I opened up a pack and found Open the Waygate, which has the ability to give you a time warp. Now if you have this and you play Mimiron and have 2 other mechs, then your opponent does not get another turn, so you are bound to get Voltron. Problem is getting those 6 spells, plus having enough mechs, plus having enough mana, because you have to play all of it in one turn, which means 5 for Mimiron, 5 for the spell, because this spell, the reward, costs 5. Oops, there you can see it, 5 time warp. So, not so easy. So I've been playing around with this idea of, okay, yep, that's fine. It's a spell, I need spells. So how do you do it? And in the end, I came to the conclusion, okay, it's not going to work in a mech deck. Because you need lots of spells. And you definitely need to reliably, when you play it, you must have the ability to play those 3 mechs at once, which only left target dummy. So I've got 2 target dummies in this deck.
What to do? What to do?
And these guys give me the spare parts, which are spells. Spare parts are spells.
I'll show them. I am so ready.
So what I need to do is I must get through the deck, collect those 2, collect Mimiron, get enough spells to do this, plus Mimiron alone is not enough. You need a copy spell because
Time runs out on me.
you usually need 2 of them.
I wonder.
If, for example, you have a priest or a warrior and he's up in the 30s, you really need 2 of them. Because only then can you do enough damage. Problem is getting enough card draw, and here I usually run into problems. especially with aggro decks, who kill me long before I'm finished. So I've been poking around trying to find ways to stay alive. This is one of them. And I think I found a few. This one, of course, I only play if I have, like, quite a few already.
Let the pain speak to me.
And I'm just fishing around for the last card, and I desperately need to rush because he's getting ready for the final blow. And of course I've got 2 ice blocks in here. The final barrier, I've got 2 blizzards. There's one. And quite a few other things too.
Bring the pain.
So I need to draw as much as possible. Okay, that doesn't help me at all, but who cares? Let's just keep it. So let's see if he has a Holy Nova and willing to play it. Yes, he has. Which means I'm getting to draw and I get a spell. Alright. Okay, more card draw. Now we have to be careful not to overdraw, because one of the things you absolutely must avoid in this kind of deck is to overdraw and then lose like one of the vital cards, like the second target dummy. You're doomed.
Wonder.
So what do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, so we're gonna play
We hunger for vengeance.
Thalnus. So now we have 7. If we draw, we are at 9. Okay.
Time runs out on me.
I can freeze my own minions, no problem, too. I just want to make sure that I don't overdraw. I was at 9 just now, and if he, for example, has a Cold Light Oracle, I draw 2, and then I draw 1, which means I overdraw. And I absolutely have to avoid that. So playing this against mill decks is terrible.
You are the Shadow's puppet.
Okay, no problem. Lots of cards on this guy. Okay, here's the second target dummy. Okay, 1, 2, 2 target dummies. This does 3 damage.
Let the pain speak to me.
Okay, here's my copy spell. So, I've got the 2 taunts already. I've got 1 copy spell. I still miss Mimiron. And I still need to do a lot of spells. Alright, granted. So, how much do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, he could make me draw 2.
I see gold in your future.
That's luck. He didn't. Okay. It's fine. Okay, there's the second copy. Now what I need to do is this. And this guy. Because he's gonna have 9 mana next round, which means he cannot take possession. He cannot steal this because that is a 10 mana spell. Right on.
More
How much do we have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Fine. There's no card draw on the board. I've got 11. So let's see if he can do anything against it. He doesn't have a spare part. He's got a Shadow Word Horror. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
You want to cast a spell? I want to cast a spell.
I totally want to cast a spell. Like this one. And this one. And we're at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This gets us up to 9. Yeah. Let's risk it. No. No. Okay. That's kind of a risky move. This is going to give us another spell. So is this. So we've got this, unless he silences these, which is possible. I've got 8 spell draw cards in my deck. He's not playing anything. That's
I am ready.
weird. Let's just make sure I get that spell. Five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's probably there going like, what the hell is this guy doing? Like, usually when I succeed in doing this, people don't give up because they're just so bedazzled by what's happening. They just go like, what is he doing? But I guess this guy at least realized that I'm fishing for spells. That I need one more. You've got another silence, my boy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, I can also win this fair and square by simply winning. And if I get you to 0, I've won. Has he got another silence? He does.
Just a pinch of vigor.
Wow. Looks like he understood my strategy. So I have 8 spell generators in here. He just killed 2. And I need one more spell. 1, 2. I've got them all now, except for the spell. I need to get the spell. 5 more cards in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. 5 more cards. I'm at 21, so I can be relatively relaxed. Okay, that's his second Mind Blast. So, if he was planning on Malagos, then that didn't work. So, let's... 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If I do this, I'm at 10. Yes, and there it is.
You want to cast a spell? I want to cast a spell.
Oh yes, I want to... Damn it, I can't play it. Can't play it. If I play this, I'll mill myself. I'm at 9 now. If I do that, I'm gonna mill 1, and I'm gonna mill the spell.
I wonder.
Okay, damn it.
Time runs out on me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bloody hell, I can't play the last spell. That's good, because it means I don't get one from... Oh! Ah, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. You just saved me.
I'm almost out of cards.
Yes, I know, isn't it beautiful? Alright. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... Oh, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If I play this... I'm at 10.
What to do? What to do?
The end is coming!
Okay. This is rather risky, because I just hope he doesn't have any taunts. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes. Because I play this... Got all the cards I need. Now,
Time runs out on me.
the only thing that must not happen now is him destroying the Doomsayer and playing a huge-ass taunt. Now, I'm just hoping that he's gonna think, oh, he's out of cards very soon anyway. Okay, we did it. We did it. He thinks I'm almost dead. But...
Behold the magnificent aerial command unit!
At the start of your turn, if you have at least 3 mechs, destroy them all and form Voltron. Now guess what this is? And this. And now, I have 5 mana left.
Job done.
To take an extra turn. Now, here we go. Oh, yes.
Glory of the B-O-70R!
Now,
Bask in the glory of the B-O-70R!
let's do this.
The glory of the B-O-70R!
Now, each of these have Mega Fury. That's what usually happens. Because, like, this is 4 times 4 damage. So 16. In this case, times 3. Well, he's mega dead. That's what's... Now, the problem is that this doesn't always work. Like, because sometimes you're just dead and your last card is way down in the deck, but you're playing against an aggro guy and you're just not getting card draw, or you're just not pulling removal. I never had it like this guy was trying to prevent me from getting the 6 spells, which I've never had before, but that also is possible, of course. Or, like I said, you could mill yourself and then go like, oh, shit, oh, damn it. There you go. Just milled away one of the cards I desperately need for the only combo that you can win using this deck. Like, if you don't hit the combo, if the combo doesn't work, this deck will absolutely fail. You can't win. I've tried lots of times. It just doesn't have the capacity and the power, the damage to do that. So like I said, I've got like 2 target dummies in case you want to like fiddle around with this idea too. 2 babbling books, 2 clockwork gnomes, so this is like 4 spell generators. I've got the legendary spell, Open the Waygate. Got a blood mage here, because naturally card draw. It's then I have 2 doomsayers And the Doomsayers can best be combined with Frost Novas, of course, but sometimes also the Babbling Book or the Clockwork Gnome. The Clockwork Gnome gives you a spare part, and sometimes that's shadowing, stealth, and then of course you can hide the Doomsayer, and that's the best. A Mad Scientist is of course to make sure that you draw those 2 ice blocks, because if you don't, you're playing against a hunter. Yeah, that can go really wrong. Shimmering Tempest also like adds a random mage spell to your hand. It's basically like the Babbling Book, only a little worse, because this definitely gives it to you when you play it. So you can't silence it. The Tempest, you can. Same goes for the Clockwork Gnomes. The Acolyte of Pain, of course, 2 of them. I was pretty lucky this time, because I could always ping them and always could get at least 2 card draws out of them, so that was good. 2 Arcane Intellects, of course, for more card draw. The Cold Light Oracle for a last ditch at card draw. So if you're really very desperate, you just need that last push. Frost Novas 2, of course, to stall. Same as for Ice Block, stalling. Cabal Courier, of course. This is a little gamble. Discover a Mage, Priest, or Warlock card. I must say, in playing like the 50-something games I've played so far, playing around with this idea, testing, discarding, choosing new cards, I've had this in the deck now for at least the last 15 games, and there has always been a spell, because each of these classes, Mage, Priest, or Warlock, have spells. So one of them is bound to be a spell. It mustn't be a very good one. Then there's the Mechanical Yeti, which gives you spare parts. Good card. 4/5 for 4 mana. I've also played around with... what's the card's name? This guy. Ethereal Conjurer, discover a spell. Also not bad, but 6/3 is like bad stats. It's very easily removed, especially because you play it rather late in the game. Good thing is the Discoverer spell, because you can choose a really useful one, but still, I took it out and took in the Shimmering Tempest instead. Just had better effects. Then there's Molten Reflection. You usually only need 1. Because 2 Voltrons will do enough damage to kill somebody who's at 13. So sometimes I've used one of the Molten Reflections to actually copy a Doomsayer, or copy an Acolyte of Pain, or a Mechanical Yeti to get that last spell, or something like that. Then of course Mimiron's head needs to be in there, and 2 Blizzards, which basically do the same thing as the Frost Novas. They stall the game and sometimes even kill a minion. I've also played around with 1 or 2 taunts in there to stall, but since they give no card draw and do not give spells, this just slows you down, and it didn't have any positive effect, unfortunately, so I had to discard that again. Also tried around with Archthief Rafam, but the artifact, because yeah, but the card is too expensive. Didn't work out too well. This doesn't work at all, because you usually just get mechs that don't create spare parts, because they're not that many. They're actually just these 2. Yeah, but it's fun. It's just fun, and when it works, it's really a kick. So glad I could show you. Worked right at the first try. Yes, tell me what you think of it, and tell me if you had any other strange ideas for decks. I sure as hell had quite a lot. I still have my Hide Mage. Still playing around with that idea of a mage, like hiding behind taunts and shields and spells and actually not doing anything until the game is over, and then just winning because the other guy runs out of cards. The coins idea and the pirate deck I still have. So, but this pirate deck is not the usual pirate deck because I don't have the 1/1 little pirate that poof, gets fired out. Xeral's Poison, I think you still know that it's an old deck where I play around with Malygos. The idea of doing like lots of burst damage in one go. Not a very good win rate either. This is basically taunting up and making lots of damage in the end. This is the mech game, the mech deck. It's called Mech Squad 2 because I've duplicated it playing around with several ideas, and then I ended up with this one. Yeah, it still looks... I've got a Dr. Boom now because I crafted it. Apart from that, it's basically pretty much the same as it used to be. I've taken out a few mechs because I discovered after playing around with it for a long time, I actually had too many. And because of that, although mechs are cool and the synergy is cool, I was missing some really good effects that I could really use in the game to help me win. So I've put in a Lotheb, for example, because if you play that in round 5, you really stall the game. And if you have lots of minions, and with a mech mage deck you have lots of minions, you can really tank him up and kill him on round 6. And he can't play that big removal spell that he was planning on, like Blizzard or Blizzard for 6 mana. He can't play it because it's too expensive. Yeah, I've added some mana worms because there are quite a few spells in here. Like I've got 2 frost bolts, 2 unstable portals. There's the fireballs in here. Goblin Blast Mage, of course. Yeah, so far I've really had lots of fun with this, and like I said, I'm rank 13 at the moment, and that's usually where I've been. Still need to get to 12, but yeah, and then this shaman I just created to do a quest. This is also like an idea of mine that I had playing around with the idea of eggs, because I was looking at them one day and thought like, this is totally useless. What do you do with runic eggs? Or what are these other eggs called? Where are they? Runic eggs and the Nerubian eggs. So I tried to think of a deck where you play all of these eggs and then you give them +1/+1 or +2/+2. So I created this deck. It's still not perfect, but you either kill him by round 5 because you just run over him with eggs and all of his removals don't work because either he gives me card draw or he gives me a 4/4 Nerubian, or whatever happens, it's bad for him, even if he removes the eggs. And yeah, that's basically all. And if he's good, and if he's got taunts, and if he can stop me, then I'm dead by round. Like if you don't kill your opponent by, let's say, round 8, you're doomed. You're dead with this. So because it doesn't really have any late game. So it's not perfect, but yeah, lots of rambling. Sorry about that. Pike is signing off. Bye bye.